Welcome back to the video. Today we are back from an NFL video, this time talking about Josh Allen. He is the player for the Bills we'll be talking about in our ongoing series this summer of talking about one player per team. And then also once we're done with this, we'll be going over every team again, talking about the team as a whole before going to the next year with some team predictions, stuff like that. So if that sounds interesting to you guys, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I do NFL videos like this all the time, and when the season's going, we do week picks as well. We also do NFL tier list videos and NFL quiz videos. To all my Madden viewers, I do apologize. Today was supposed to be a Madden video, but honestly, I did not have the coins to do a gameplay, so I had to do an NFL video. But I will have another Madden video very shortly for you guys. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about Josh Allen and really what next year means to him and the Bills, because a lot of things changed over the course of just this season and the narrative on the Bills, and especially what it means for them going into next year, because a lot of things in the league shifted next year for them as well, or I should say that impacts them next year. But first off, let's recap last year. So Josh Allen finished the season with 4,283 yards, 35 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, and a 71.4 QBR, which was second in the NFL. Now let's go down here to just individual games here, because you see there's a lot of green, there's not a lot of red. That's what you want to see. A lot of those wins were by very few points, but a win is a win. I would say his worst game was probably against the Jets, which is a 2017 loss where he threw for 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Although granted, the Jets defense is phenomenal. One of his best games was against the Titans, where they won 41-7. He threw for 317 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And again, that's just kind of box score. It might not have been his best playing game, just as far as the stats go. But just a brief recap. You guys can look over that if you want to. But I just want to start by recapping last year. And at the start of the year, I think the Bills were actually Super Bowl favorites to start last season off. And beating the Rams 31-10, who were the defending Super Bowl champions. Because at that point we didn't know the Rams were going to be as bad as they ended up being. But that looked like a big win, and it was like, oh yeah, no one's beating this Bills team. They were an absolute, powerhouse. They nearly beat the Chiefs, the year prior anyway to go to the Super Bowl. So, we're like, it's that close. And it looked like, we were right that, yeah, the Bills are that good. Although right around, I want to say like that, maybe it is that Jets game that just like things just seem to really shift in their season, because they went from this like team that looked so unbeatable to very beatable. Not that they were going to lose a lot of games, but it was kind of okay, yeah, we can beat this team. They also lost the Dolphins. I forgot to mention that as well, but it was 21-19. Josh Allen threw 63 total times in that game, which is just absurd. But yeah, so the narrative kind of started to shift a bit later in the year. And don't get me wrong, they finished 13-3, and the second best team in the division finished 9-8. But again, we will be talking about that division again in just a minute here. So then you go to the playoffs. You do beat the Dolphins, but only by 3 points. That game was very interesting to watch, because the Dolphins had like a 7th-round rookie quarterback playing, and that was just a really, really crazy game. But you survive that, and then you get home field advantage against Cincinnati, and you get stomped. Honestly, you get stomped. Josh Allen does not even throw for a touchdown. He was 25 for 42, 264 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Though the 1 interception was, I believe, at the very end of the game when Cameron Taylor-Britt picked him off, I believe it was. So there wasn't much, meaning behind that interception anyway. But still, it was a rough game. And I think throughout last season, a lot of those like Mahomes, Allen, Burrow lists kind of started to maybe switch Burrow and Allen. And people started to kind of disrespect Allen. And honestly, I want to stay right now so that we're all clear. I mean, Josh Allen's a good quarterback. Like, I don't want to make this seem like he's not a good quarterback. There's always question marks around him. Like, he can get it done, and he has proven he can get it done. He hasn't made it to the AFC Championship game yet and won, but, maybe we'll get there. But still, he's a great quarterback, and a lot of the disrespect is kind of crazy. But there are concerning things talking about next season, which I wanted to do kind of a bit short recap for the first half of this video like we just did. And now I want to kind of get into, actually, hold that thought. Before we get into next season, let's look at the passing leaders for last season as well. So Mahomes was first, Herbert third, Brady fourth, Cousins fifth, Burrow sixth, Goff seventh, or maybe it was Goff sixth or seventh. I lost count, whatever. Josh Allen's around like that sixth to seventh mark. And look at the quarterbacks above him, like, Tom Brady won't be there next year because he retired. I cannot see Kirk Cousins doing that again, so he's probably not there. And again, this is just statistically speaking. Like, it doesn't really show what it was like on the field, because then it's like, oh, I bet, if Mahomes was first and Herbert was second, then, Kirk was fourth. The Vikings would have like a crazy postseason run. And like, no, like that's not the case. So I'm just talking about statistically speaking here, but that's how last year ended. I think a lot of things are going to be shifting going into, this year. And a main thing I want to talk about, I'm going to go back to just this tab here while I talk about next. Where is my mouse? Okay, going into next year. So the biggest thing that impacts the Bills by far is Aaron Rodgers joining that division, because now you have Josh Allen as a quarterback in that division. You have Tua as a quarterback in that division. You have Aaron Rodgers, and you have Mac Jones, though Mac Jones isn't much of a threat compared to the other ones. But still, it's a tough division because the Patriots defense is still incredible. Now, I want to scroll down again just so you guys can see that as well, or maybe my face cam covers that. That should work, I guess, for the final AFC East standings. Now, Buffalo, like I said, they finished 13-3. A lot of those games could have gone either way, but again, I believe the Vikings were also like that. Like 7 of their games, or maybe more, were decided by like 1 score. So, a lot of that could have gone either way. But again, doesn't matter. Win's a win. But you're looking at this, and the Jets were 7-10, and Zach Wilson held that team back. I mean, I don't know if you can really put into words how much better that season could have been if Zach Wilson was not there and in his place was a competent quarterback. You also have the Patriots finish 8-9 despite their offense being pretty awful, other than Ramondre Stevenson. It was pretty bad, but they still finished 8-9. Then you have Miami, who finished 9-8, though that should have been better. But Tua had his injuries and everything. So Josh Allen is going into next season with some different weapons around. I won't say anything crazy, but Devin Singletary did leave. You have James Cook now, who I think is going to be a bit more of a pass catcher out of the backfield. And you also have no more Dawson Knox, but you do have Dalton Kincaid, who the last I saw as a report said that they were trying to figure out still how exactly he's going to fit in their offense. I think when they say that, they mean as far as the role goes. Obviously, they have an idea of what he's going to be doing. Maybe just not the size of his impact as far as if he's been catching all these, balls on these routes and everything, or if he's going to be blocking a bit more to start the season, or just maybe he's even going to be a backup through the season. I don't know. But that's the last thing I heard. Maybe I'm wrong there, and correct me if I am wrong in the comments, but that's the last thing I heard about Dalton Kincaid. But either way, that dude's a beast, and I'm sure at some point next season, he will actually be playing, so I'm going to still count him as a weapon for Josh Allen. And of course, you still have Stephon Diggs, and you still have Gabe Davis. And I'm not going to lie, I don't pay the most attention to the Bills throughout the season because I'm a Panthers fan. But, obviously for these videos, I have to, educate myself, make sure I'm correct on a lot of things. But from what I've heard from Bills fans, Gabe Davis is pretty, I think, inconsistent, maybe slightly overrated. He's still a good receiver, but just maybe not, as good as the name may sound, because you remember, that crazy playoff game he had. Either way, though, Josh Allen, I think, has something to prove next year, because the disrespect on him a little bit, kind of putting, Burrow. I'm not saying Burrow shouldn't be above him, but I'm just saying Josh Allen obviously doesn't think that himself. And now you have a guy who's coming to the league after you and took a really, really bad Cincinnati Bengals team and really helped turn that around and then take them to not only the AFC Championship game and win it, but the Super Bowl and almost win it. So Josh Allen knows that. He can see the AFC around him. He knows how stacked it's going to be. And this is going to be a big year for him because you have guys like Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, like I said, Joe Burrow. You have Lamar Jackson. You have a lot of really, really good quarterbacks all in the AFC. And honestly, the reality is that not all of them are going to make the playoffs. There's just not enough seeds. So some good players are going to have to be not making the playoffs. And I think Josh Allen has to prove that he is one of the top of the very best in that conference because you're going to have to be if you want to win consistently. You have, Russell Wilson, he did not play well last year. He just didn't. But Nathaniel Hackett leaves, and he looked a bit better, honestly, in Denver. So if they have a bounce back year, I doubt they do anything crazy because they're in Kansas City's division, and that division is incredibly hard to win because you have Patrick Mahomes in it. But it's still another decent quarterback that is going to be playing games in the AFC that you're going to have to beat at some point. I don't know if the Bills beat them, but on some of the AFC as a whole, it's going to be incredibly competitive to where every game, I love the NFL because every game counts. That's just how football is. But especially in the AFC, every game really counts because you have a lot of high competition all around you, and it's going to be a fight. You look at divisions like the AFC North or the AFC East, it is going to be incredibly close between all those teams because all those teams are fairly even, and not everybody can win. So yeah, that's why I think Josh Allen, it's going to be a big year for him next year. You got a lot of people, like I've said, kind of disrespecting him, maybe putting him down on quarterback list, maybe putting Jalen Hurts above him. I've seen that on some of them. And, we're going to just see what happens because a lot of the talk of that division, in my opinion, it's not going to be the Bills. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers, because that's what, the media's concerned with, is that, Rodgers moving to the AFC, Rodgers on the Jets, are the Jets a Super Bowl team, all this kind of stuff. And Josh Allen has to kind of prove, like, this is still my division. I'm going to win it. I don't care who else is in here. I'm going to win. And it's really going to come down to that, because I'm very afraid of what the narrative is going to be if Aaron Rodgers moves to the Jets and that order goes like Jets, Dolphins, Bills, Patriots. I mean, it's going to be rough. Not that I would agree with those rankings or anything like that, but at the end of the day, really anything can happen. That's just how I see next year being for the Bills, and especially Josh Allen, because I think he needs to bounce back a bit and have less turnover-worthy plays. Sometimes he gets a little excited and tries some of those, crossbody or, on the run type passes, and it's just not the best. But again, maybe what else wrong? Was it the coaching? Let me know. If you guys are a Bills fan, let me know down below what you want to see your team do differently in next season. That's just the way I understand. That's the way I see it. But I think whatever way it goes, next season is a big season for Josh Allen to really show everybody that he is one of the best quarterbacks, not only in the entire league, but, well, not, I guess I should say, not only in the AFC, but in the entire league. And I do think he is, so I think he's going to be able to prove that. But it's going to be a tough fight. But guys, that's going to do it for the video, so be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys are new around here. I do Madden NFL videos, like I said, I believe at the beginning of this video, but if I didn't, I do week picks when the season's going on for NFL. I do NFL tier list videos, NFL quiz videos. We're doing these individual player videos, and then we're also doing individual team videos as well. And then for my Madden videos, we do gameplays, Panthers team series, pack openings, new promo content news, all that kind of stuff. So thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.